This weekend I was at a fiesta, a very unhinged fiesta, and it helped me to realize how much freedom that I have now that I don't live in the US anymore. It's striking really that many Americans, once they leave the US, they realize how many freedoms they gain by leaving the country. They find that they gain the freedom from things rather than having the freedom to do things. One example of this is the freedom to buy guns to protect yourself versus the freedom from gun violence. Recently, I've come to realize that I have even more freedoms than I had when I came here 3 years ago. Right now, freedoms in the US are becoming less and less. One reason is that people just can't afford their freedoms, and another reason is that freedoms are just being taken away. In this video, I'm going to share 4 freedoms that I think are disappearing in the US. All right, there's personal freedoms that you probably hear every expat talking about. You have things like freedom from medical bankruptcy. About a year ago, my husband had surgery on his hand here. The cost of his surgery falls in line with the taxes that we pay as working people here in Spain. And his surgery wasn't just surgery and go home. No, it came with 3 months of physical therapy, which he's completed now. Now, did it take a long time to get his surgery scheduled? Absolutely, because surgeries, the way they're scheduled here, is based on need. Him having that hand surgery, he could still live without having the hand surgery, but there are people with more important needs that were attended to first. I look at things like if I were still in the US and I had to have a mastectomy like I did 5 years ago, how much would that cost me? I would be bankrupt. I would be bankrupt if I had to have that surgery right now in the US. That surgery in 2019 cost my insurance company, well, looking at the bills, it was over $600,000, almost $700,000 for my 9-hour surgery. Now, you would think that at the end of a 9-hour surgery, that you would stay in the hospital overnight. No, you get sent home immediately. Yes, I had 2 weeks of recovery at home, but I was still working while I did that recovery. And even though my insurance covered the bulk of the surgery, I still had to pay thousands out of pocket. And that was with me having the best insurance that my company offered. Now, contrast my experience with my husband's experience. Yes, the surgeries were very different. He didn't have a mastectomy. I did. But contrast the experience. Yes, I was able to schedule the surgery within a month of realizing the need, but at what cost? I went to this Unhinged festival this weekend. It was phenomenal. It is something I would never dare attempt to visit in the US. And I'm going to be doing a video on my channel, Rico. It'll come out tomorrow, Tuesday. But at a festival like that in the US, I would expect to see some type of violence. There were thousands of people. They were everywhere, many of them not sober. And there was no violence, much less gun violence. There was no violence. Another freedom that I don't know how many people really talk about, I drink from the tap here, and it's safe because it comes from the spring. It comes from under the ground. People aren't buying up the water to bottle it up. Also, living here, I've experienced a freedom from hustle culture. People here don't fear vacations because they're mandated. You get a month off here in Spain each year. Also, your identity is not based in what you do for a living. You work to live here. You don't live to work like we do in the US. Now that I've been gone from the US for almost 3 years now, I look and I see freedoms that were there when I left. They're all being degraded. Like the freedom to express your opinions. Now, you may push back on this one, but think about it. Right now, criticizing the government has an inherent risk to it. There's censorship that you're seeing on social media and in other places. I mean, you see the media self-censoring right now. Look at the Colbert Show. Even the FCC is talking about it. I mean, you have companies just capitulating to Trump. They're settling lawsuits that they very well could win just to make sure that they're in good graces with this administration. And now there's government interference in the most mundane of places, like museum. You expect to see history, and now what is there is being altered. I also think that the freedom to develop your own opinion is being attacked, most notably with Sesame Street and it being replaced with PragerU content. PragerU is conservative, it's very right-wing, and their opinions are controversial to say the least. Once again, you have the media capitulating to Trump. You're seeing opinions changed or just information not given to people, and you have to dig and find for it. In that last video that I posted, I got a lot of comments. We're protesting. We're protesting. I hear that. I know that. That's why I stay on TikTok, because I can run into a live in time enough to see what's going on before it's censored. But at the same time, we have to do more to make sure that we take care of each other. And we have to join those mutual aid groups. We have to become a part, not just show up for the protests, but become a part of these groups and the planning and the preparing and using our strengths to improve on what is being done. It's going to take a long time before we change and gain freedoms again. I found this really great list. It's the Who Owns the Media Index. It lists companies by how much they're capitulating. A small cartel of billionaires and conglomerates dominate the US media landscape. Through a history of mergers and acquisitions, they've concentrated their control over much of what Americans see, read, and hear. Free press rates the independence of each of these giants and analyzes their ability to defend democracy at a time of domestic and international authoritarianism. As always, my resources are linked below. I encourage you to check this out. It covers the 35 largest media and tech companies. Each is ranked. A star equals independent, 1 chicken equals vulnerable, 2 chickens equals compromising, 3 chickens is capitulating, 4 chickens is obeying, and 5 chickens is propaganda. So let's go over some of them. We'll start with broadcasting and entertainment. Comcast, 1 chicken. Cox Media Group, 1 chicken. Disney, 3 chickens. Fox Corporation, 4 chickens. iHeartMedia, 2 chickens. Paramount Global, 4 chickens. Warner Brothers Discovery, 3 chickens. Now for some online platforms. Google, 2 chickens. Amazon, 4 chickens. Apple, 2 chickens. Meta, 4 chickens. Microsoft, 1 chicken. Netflix, a star. Snap, 2 chickens. X, 5 chickens. For cable and telecom, AT&T is 3 chickens, T-Mobile is 3 chickens, and Comcast is 1 chicken. Finally, we have newspapers and publishing. Bloomberg, star. LA Times is 4 chickens. New York Times is 1 chicken. Now, I didn't go over the comprehensive list. Again, I encourage you to check in the video description to read it yourself. For me, this provides a great resource for businesses that I don't want to buy from. Right now, I really see the US as a place where you're losing your freedom to pursue your passion. It started with the One Big Beautiful Bill, which limits how much you can take out for financial aid to go and get higher education. Then you have AI replacing jobs that took education to get. How do you find your passion? How do you create a life that you're excited about? Also, if you want to start a business, how do you do that? With the tariffs as they are, how do you start a business with little capital? Because it is hard to get a loan, especially in times like this. I'm seeing a loss of the freedom of religion. We have this push for Christian prayer in government spaces and in schools, and especially in government spaces, we're really seeing it, that you have to respect this one religion, and if you fall outside of that religion, there is no respect for your feelings. Freedom of movement. We have ICE. We have more ICE, and now we have the National Guard. The very National Guard that is supposed to be the militia that protects the states from a military incursion is doing the incursion on the people it's supposed to protect. Last week, I posted a video that upset a lot of people. It upset some people because they thought I was criticizing them. I wasn't. It upset others because they thought I was calling for violence. I didn't. What I shared were the things that people who are protesting, who feel like nothing's happening, it's not making a difference, I shared with them the things that they should be doing in addition to protesting. This channel, it's not my job. It's a passion project. It's one of the many ways that I resist while living abroad. Instead of this channel, I could literally use the privilege that I have of not living in the US and maybe just binge on content about what's going on over there. I could also modify this channel so that it's optimized to make money, and I could feed the fears that people are having and just serve content like that, giving the emotional validation. I could earn a lot of money by discussing the problems that people are having financially and then just offering financial advice. I could create guides to sell you, maybe on how to save money or how to move abroad. I could also use the time that I invest in this channel to focus on my business here. But if this channel encourages just one person to resist oppression, then this channel has reached its goal. Now, if you want to watch that unhinged festival video, that'll be going up tomorrow on my other channel, Hasta Rico. In the meantime, you can watch last week's festival, another festival that I don't think could ever happen in the US, on my Hasta Rico channel right now. If you'd like to support this channel in other ways, feel at ease to subscribe, like the video, share the video if it resonated with you. Otherwise, you can watch this video next, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.